We can.
There we go. All right, we're in it. Got a special guest with me here, live in Pensacola at the Sun Belt tournament. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Daniel Horn. I'm with Fox Sports Pensacola here. I've been covering the Sun Belt Conference all 7 days so far. So it's a privilege to be able to be with you guys and do this recap tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna kick it off with some Sun Belt recap, the games we saw today here, and then I don't even know how late I'm allowed to stay here. I don't know if you know that, but I was just gonna stay here
Man,
and do the show. Like,
there's no teams practicing tonight. I mean, if Marshall would have been in here like last night, Marshall was practicing late, so it's no telling how long they stayed in here last night to be able to get their practice in before today.
yeah, so I might need to drop off of here and come back if once we finish the Sun Belt recap. Um, we're gonna go off the screen real quick because I got to make sure this link tweeted out that we're live because it's supposed to do it automatically. But Jacob, while I'm doing that, you want to give a little quick preview into what you were up to this week?
Yeah, it's been a crazy weekend. I've been to two different tournaments. Big South tournament. I went to some of the quarterfinal games on Friday, the late night session. And then I've been down in Asheville on all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and going to be there for the championship on Monday. It's been a crazy weekend in both those tournaments. Big South tournament had three straight overtime games, like crazy finishes. You had Winthrop come back from 8 down to beat Charleston Southern. You had, of course, the UNC Asheville and Longwood went to overtime, and so did Presbyterian and Radford. And then you had yesterday, Saturday. I just kind of was watching SoCon all day. My Bucks got the win against Citadel, and then you had close games all day through there too. Seeds 2 through 4 went down, but yeah, just a crazy weekend all around. I'm glad it's March. All these games are intense. You're starting to feel that intensity pick up little by little, game by game. So yeah, it's been a pretty great weekend for some college basketball.
Well, we're gonna dive in real quick to start with this Sun Belt tournament recap. Semifinals today. So we had the top 2 seeds coming off layoffs where they had to play games in 9 days. Troy and Marshall, and they were both playing teams. Troy was taking on a Southern Miss team that was coming off 3 wins and 3 nights in a row, and Marshall was playing a Georgia Southern team that was coming off 4 wins and 4 nights in a row. We now have Matt with us too, so we got the full crew here. Matt, how you doing?
Not bad.
Starting off with a quick Sun Belt recap here. So yeah, Southern Miss and Troy was the first game we saw, and we'll talk about. I don't know if either of you were able to tune in, but like I say, we'll get through these. We'll get through these games. So yeah, Southern Miss and Troy was our first game of the day.
Yeah, man, it was a good. It wasn't a shutout. I can honestly say that it wasn't a shutout like like some other games that I saw today with the women's where the women's literally it was literally a shutout today. But I really think that the Southern Miss did a did an okay job, but Troy just dominated the game. They battled it out coming up and managed to get ahead by 8 points today to be able to secure their victory today.
Yeah, big part of this was Troy was able to get to the free throw line at will in this game. Troy was 31 for 38 from the line against Southern Miss today, an 8-point win that made a huge difference today. Big discrepancy there, but Southern Miss had done a great job the last few nights, like particularly last night, playing a very physical App State team at drawing fouls and getting to the free throw line. They weren't able to have the same success doing that tonight, being 12 for 20 from the line. So Southern Miss's run here in Pensacola came to an end, but they were able to put up a fight. And Troy was the first team we've seen in this tournament, I'd say, like coming off a real layoff, that was able to not have that affect their performance today. Like I say, first game in 9 days, and they were able to come out and didn't have their best shooting performance, only 3 for 17 from the 3-point line. But Troy was able to get the win there, and the number 1 seed advanced to the championship game in that one. So, yeah, big win for Scott Cross and Troy. He's the Sun Belt Coach of the Year, and they'll be playing tomorrow to defend their crown from last year's Sun Belt tournament and advance to the NCAA tournament. So yeah, I don't know if you got anything else you want to add on that one. If either of you want to add anything on Southern Miss, Troy, anything with that game.
I mean, I think Troy has become sort of the team to beat in the Sun Belt right now. I mean, Scott Cross has built a great program there. And I know Southern Miss was kind of one of those teams that has gone on a run here, just like we'll get into the Georgia Southern Marshall game here in a little bit, but just like they were kind of on a run as well. You had shout out Isaac Tavares had 32 points. He was obviously carrying Southern Miss in that game. I didn't watch much of it, but I mean, when you have a player like that putting their heart out on the court, I mean, it's still a good game. But Troy has been the class of the Sun Belt the past couple years, and I think that is what the story of that game is.
Yeah, impressive stuff by Troy overall. That's a team that was good enough to win an NCAA tournament game last year. I mean, they had to reload most of that roster. Tatum Connerway, who was the best player on the team last year, left and went to play for Indiana. And, yeah, seems they haven't skipped a beat, still running things in the Sun Belt.
Yep. You got anything else on that one? Or?
Man, not really. I mean, it was. I honestly think that it was an equally balanced coming into the game today. I mean, you got to think they Southern Miss was 48 in the paint. Troy was 38 in the paint today. Troy had 18 turnovers. Southern Miss only had 16, and in all true reality, Southern Miss should have came out on top with those turnovers, but they just weren't able to.
That free throw discrepancy is, I think, where the difference was really made.
I mean, man, you really got to look at who made. I mean, there was 3 main players from Southern Miss that made Southern Miss what it was today, and that was number 10, Isaac Tavares, 32 points total. And then you had Tylik Weeks. Everybody was worried about the Weeks. I mean, that's all you heard today was Weeks this, Weeks that.
He was coming off. He had 30 plus in the 2 games before last night, and then had 28 in last night's game.
And he had 15 today, and then you had Bennett, who was also responsible for 14 points of today's game. And then you got to turn around and look at what Troy brought to the table, and that was Jarrell Bellamy. I mean, 22 points. And then you had Victor Valdez, 13 points. And then you had
Bellamy was really able to get in the paint and get whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
In this game. That made a big difference there.
Then you had Cooper Campbell, 14 points as well, and Thomas Dow. I mean, you had 22, 14, 13, 12, and that was pretty much that was it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was overall, but look at the time that Troy had that ball a lot more than Southern Miss. I mean, Troy had that ball for exactly 36.16 seconds total. Southern Miss only had that ball for literally 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Is all they could keep the ball. I mean, it was just stupid turnovers that cost them the game. I mean, they got sloppy. In all true reality, they really did.
Well, yeah. And so Troy moves on. And then, so Troy's opponent tomorrow in the Sun Belt Championship game is going to be Georgia Southern, who just won their fifth game in 5 nights tonight. One of the craziest runs
Wow.
of this entire season. Like, if they're able to pull this thing off tomorrow and win 6 games in 6 nights, um, what a run by Georgia Southern and what they've been able to do here. They get an 82-78 win against Marshall. That was their 3-0 against Marshall this year. Marshall's last game before tonight was 9 days ago against Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern was able to win there, scored over 100 like we were talking about earlier in that
101 to 87 to be exact.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and had a lot more of a low-scoring battle tonight, which I don't think a lot of people expected out of these two teams.
No! This game tonight really truly should have went into overtime. In all true reality, it really truly should have. But you got to look at the facts. Marshall turned over that ball 19 times tonight. They turned that ball over, and Georgia Southern turned it over only 15 times tonight, and Georgia Southern had that ball for literally 27.6 seconds over for the entire game. I mean, they dominated the game. Georgia Southern did, and like you said, if they can pull off their sixth win, it would be phenomenal.
Yeah, what an impressive run by this Georgia Southern team. Spud Webb, we know he had the huge game against Old Dominion the other night, and he came out with 31 tonight. He was the big scorer in this one. And yeah, another huge win for Georgia. But this was awesome game. It was a back and forth affair like the whole time. Like the two fan bases for Georgia Southern and Marshall really showed up in this one. I was impressed.
Man.
It was loud.
Man, Marshall was phenomenal on their fan base tonight. It really was.
Uh,
But
it's Georgia Southern, like I said, 5 wins and 5 nights coming out on top in this one, and they were able to get it done. So we'll move on to tomorrow night where we have Georgia Southern and Troy taking on each other in the Sun Belt Championship game. I don't know about you going into this one, but watching Georgia Southern the last couple, I think Georgia Southern's going to pull this thing off.
You got to look at their key players. There was a lot of players that are kind of hurting right now, and they need to they need to recuperate to be able to be rested up for tomorrow's game.
Tyron Moore had the big game last night, and he went out with cramps towards the end of the game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he only scored literally only 11 points tonight. I mean, we can both agree on that. Webb, man, 31 points. I mean, he led the team to almost to that victory tonight. It was Webb this, Webb that. I mean, Marshall just couldn't compete with it. They really couldn't. They couldn't get anybody that could score over 21 points tonight. The maximum points that their players could score tonight was literally number 9, Shamir Huggy, scoring 19 points, as well as number 2, Wyatt Briggs with 18 points total tonight. But turnovers is what cost them. And now they're going to be battling it up against pretty much the number 1 seeded team with Troy possibility coming out with a second victory tomorrow.
And that's where I'll throw it to you guys if you guys have anything on Georgia Southern, Marshall, and then looking forward to Georgia Southern and Troy tomorrow. Can Georgia Southern finish this run, win their 6th game in 6 nights, and get to the NCAA tournament?
I think it comes down to what you value, especially in these conference tournaments. You always have a team that's it's in motion. They've played the games. They get an earlier start, and they start getting rhythm faster than these teams that have buys. So Georgia Southern's kind of been that team with how the Sun Belt tournament set up. They've just kind of came out on fire. Of course, Spud Webb's been their leader. Aptly named. Same name as the 1980s NBA player of the same name. But yeah, it's gonna come down to Troy's a better team, but Georgia Southern is the hotter team at the current moment. So that's what it's going to come down to.
Troy's going to win, I think. Yeah. Like, first of all, Marshall they have some serious issues on the defensive side of things. There is no effort to defend in that program. And Troy's the complete opposite. So you're just running into a team that literally hangs their hat on defense. And Marshall, who, if that were not part of the game, they would be in really good shape. But yeah, I think it's just a different level of intensity on defense that they're.
Well, Georgia Southern played a Coastal Carolina team last night that's one of the best defensive teams in this league.
That's true. And that is true. I just think Troy's a bit of a step up. I could be wrong. This happens often where you see a team just catch fire and, go on a, 4 games in 4 days type run, 5 games in 5 days type of run. So it's not, beyond them to win that game. But, and I think there's going to be, honestly, a lot of pressure on the Sun Belt to have Troy come out of there. The 13-14 line has been eviscerated by some of these tournaments, and it's cost them. And yeah, I mean, Troy's got a chance if they win to probably climb a seed line based on some of the stuff that happened. Had East Tennessee lost, yeah, they would be in pretty prime shape. But yeah, they should be like probably a 13 if they can win that game tomorrow. Whereas Georgia Southern, you're probably looking at like probably a 15 or 16. So we'll see.
Yeah, what do you think, Mara?
Man, I gotta look at the facts here. 5 days, really only 2 days of playing. I mean, Troy's been off a little bit longer. If I remember correctly, and I honestly think that Georgia Southern is going to dominate. They're going to come out strong in that first half. I mean, as soon as it hits game time, it's going to be on from there, and they're going to try dominating and at least getting up where it's literally like a 7-point lead by the end of the first quarter.
And we saw Troy like we can go back to the stats for today. Like Troy was 3 for 17 from 3-point line. They did most of their damage at the free throw line in this game. And it's like, if they come out slow against this Georgia Southern team, the way they push the pace and like been making damn near everything in this tournament, like if Georgia Southern comes out hot and punches them in the face, like it's going to be tough for them to respond, like you said, against a team that hot. Because Troy won today, but it was definitely not an A-level performance from this Troy team and what we've seen them be able to do this year. So I don't know. I haven't seen the line yet for this game or anything, but I'm really thinking Georgia Southern's going to pull this thing off tomorrow.
Man, I'd have to agree with you. I think it's going to be Georgia Southern as well. I mean, you got to look at the facts. You really do.
It just depends with Georgia Southern. The biggest question for them is when they get to that second half, when things starting to tighten up, are they going to have the energy to keep up?
Absolutely.
That's the biggest question when you're a lower seeded team in a conference tournament. Because it's kind of like ETSU a couple years back. They went from Friday all the way to championship game on Monday against the Samford team. And ultimately that was the biggest flaw, just didn't have the energy to keep up with a Samford team that was more physical.
And you're going against a team of free throw merchants.
Yeah.
I mean, they just live at the line, and your depth's really going to be tested against Troy.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with that. I mean, if Georgia Southern can keep Troy away from the free throw line, I honestly think that Georgia Southern will do it, and it could flip flop. Troy could keep Georgia Southern away from the free throw line and not foul as much. I mean, we all know that fouls are going to come, they're going to go, and there's going to be some bogus calls out there, but yeah, you just got to come out strong and battle it out as much as you can,
I think that'll about do it for our Sun Belt recap.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. thank you for joining me.
Not a
Appreciate
problem.
it. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, man. We'll definitely have to definitely recap the championship tomorrow.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I'll go ahead and grab this. You want to say anything before we go?
Man, it's been a pleasure to be with you guys. I look forward to being with y'all tomorrow once again, and I really appreciate y'all allowing me to come in tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us.
All right, I'll see you guys around.
All right. And Jacob and Matt, if you guys hold it down for like 20 minutes, because I'm going to get out of here before I get my credential taken away from staying here too long. I'll be back at the hotel in like 20 minutes. If you guys want to hold it down while I'm gone, and as soon as I get back, I'll be back on.
Okay.
So I want to just cut to the chase immediately here with
Yeah.
ETSU. I personally, as a neutral SoCon observer, the SoCon's my favorite mid-major league because it's the most competitive. They send seemingly a new team to the NCAA tournament every year. All those teams invest heavily in basketball. And I will give my shout out to Brooks Savage. That team has totally been rebuilt.
Yeah.
And they have done this. I think Cam Morris is the best player on the team. But he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, he's been hurt. He's been
Yeah.
banged up. He's like,
So
we're going through having quite a few injuries, and apparently Brian Taylor was sick too.
well, it didn't look like like he was on fire.
I just read that. Yeah,
I mean, he and Blake Barkley have been awesome, and all those guys. I think Cam Morris is like UMass Lowell. Barkley's a Northwestern transfer. Taylor's a SIU Edwardsville transfer. So really rebuilding that team on the fly there, and
because I know, just coming from like after last year, Brooks Savage decided he wasn't gonna pay a big man, and trying to get that elusive like physical big man. He decided to go with a more small ball approach, and that's what's worked out. I know we kind of struggled against Mercer having Mighty, but it's worked out well for Brooks Savage this year.
It's worked out well now because getting Furman, who they have already beaten twice, and really is not one of the teams they've kind of struggled with this year.
Furman
that's
doesn't
a great
really
draw.
Yeah, Furman really doesn't concern me. The biggest question there would be Alex Wilkins. We got to play defense on Alex Wilkins, which is kind of a impossible task. He's just one of those guys that finds his bucket,
Yeah. And I wasn't sure what to expect from ETSU coming into, because they lost 3 of 5 going into the tournament. We already talked about the Cam Moore stuff. Not really sure where he's at. They're a different team, obviously, with him. But, And where does this team rank? I mean, what was it, 17 or what year was it where that Steve Forbes team that was just long as shit, and Florida beat him, I think,
2017
in the first round. Yeah, that team was loaded. So is this the best team since then that they've had? And I mean, this team should be probably 12 maybe. If they get a few, and I guess as an ETSU fan, are you excited to see some of these teams like Belmont go down and Navy go down, UNC Wilmington go down? Because in theory that should help their seeding.
It's definitely going to put us up a seed line if we win tomorrow night. Just like we're still at a 14, but I think we're going to move up to a 13 or a 12. I don't know if we'll move up to a 12. It might be a 13 is where I'd say we are right now, because that's what we were in 2017. I'd say this team's kind of comparable to that. We don't have an insane guard like a TJ Cromer that was on that team, but obviously we're not as great as the 2020 team, but still a talented team. But the biggest thing for us has been we're a slow starting team, and as we get into the game, we start to get into a rhythm and take over games. We almost had that happen tonight, where we let
Well,
the game get
yeah.
away from
Well, the
us.
second half was
Yeah.
probably one of the best in the program's history in a
Mhm.
while. It was like 43-29 in the second half. They had outscored them. And I just because that was cause I thought they were going to lose. I thought they were done.
I did too.
Probably halfway through the second half, I was like, I can't believe they're actually going to go out here. But yeah, credit to them. They turned it on. And but yeah, that was one. As someone who doesn't watch a lot of their games, I was like, why is this not the consistent effort and level at which they play the entire game, kind of thing?
It's just one of those things. Like this game is like a photocopy of the Chattanooga comeback 2 years ago. I honestly think this one's better. Like, because like that team, like I didn't expect much of that team, and Chattanooga was kind of a wagon. First couple years under Dan Earl, they had Honor Huff and the other guy shooting lights out. I forget his name. They were kind of shooting lights out that day in the first half.
But yeah, Chattanooga had, I think, Malachi Smith he went to Gonzaga. They were pretty. That was a stocked team.
Wasn't Malachi Smith on that team?
Yeah,
or was he more?
I thought so.
I thought he was on the Lamont Paris team.
Maybe he was.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm getting my Chattanooga teams mixed up here.
When they went,
he hit the buzzer beater.
2022.
Yeah, that sent them to the tournament there. But yeah, what like in your estimate? So like, do we know what Cam Morris is dealing with, and like when? Because if they beat Furman, like, are they going to have him at full strength? In another week and a half.
They just need to get some production from him tomorrow night. Make sure he doesn't get too banged up. I'm not sure exactly on what his injury is. I know him and Blake Barkley have dealt with like leg injuries throughout the season. At one point, they both like week leading up to a game, they had boots on, like at practice or whatever, just like precautionary boots, just to make sure their ankle don't snap or whatever. I think it's just ankles for both them. Is really what I think it is.
Is there a team so let's say ETSU gets a 13, like of the top 4 seeds, like anyone that could be on the 4 line, is there anyone that you would just be like, who are the teams that you'd be like, thank goodness this is who we drew? And is there anyone that you'd be like, shit, we are done? Like,
I would want to play Nebraska. 100%.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. Yeah, I would have them top of the list also. That's a lot of pressure on them because they obviously won a game in the tournament.
I don't think I want to play Florida.
Yeah, that would be a bust.
I don't know. They're a 1 seed though. So
yeah, I wouldn't you're talking about in that situation, maybe a Texas Tech.
Texas Tech would be a good one too.
I don't think Tennessee would be on the 4 line. Tennessee or Vanderbilt, maybe.
I think Tennessee's a 6 seed.
Yeah.
Right now, Vanderbilt's probably a 5, if I had to guess.
Yeah. But that's a good one. Yeah, Nebraska is just like begging to be picked off by somebody. I could be wrong, obviously, but Iowa played them tough today, and I don't think Iowa's that good of a team. But yeah, and of course, is there any so what's your confidence level going into Furman? Like, any doubts, or did today just be like, did that feel like you guys won the conference?
It really did. If that felt like we slayed our biggest demon. Like tomorrow, there's the off chance we could be completely worn out from playing a game like we did today. But if we just get a better start against Furman, come out, dictate the pace of game tomorrow, I really don't think Furman plays as good of defense as Western Carolina does.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah.
I think Furman's bigs are kind of soft, to be honest. They have that size, but they don't just get boards. Cooper Bowser is kind of like, if he don't get his shots, he kind of just fades. And same thing with Charles Johnston. The big issue would be Furman just draining threes, kind of like Western did today.
Yeah.
I mean, but that doesn't worry as much because I think Cord Stansbury and Marcus Kell in the other whatever the other guard's name is for Western, I think they're better shooters from the perimeter than Furman's team this year, at least.
Yeah.
I don't think Furman has like a Jalen Slauson, JP Pegues type 3-point shooter.
No. Yeah. They don't have any. I mean, yeah, that's those teams, those Furman teams. I mean, and obviously the one that Virginia gave them the one game. But yeah, I don't think they have that kind of shooter either. And any concern you lose Brooks Savage this offseason, or do you think that that's not on the table yet?
There's a chance. It just depends on what jobs open up and because I don't think like a big time Power 5 is going to offer him. Yeah. I mean, even Forbes, it took a 30 win season for him to get offered somewhere. The one I would say, if South Carolina fired their head coach,
if Lamont got fired there,
because Brooks is a Columbia native and his family's all down there.
Yeah, I didn't know his background, where he's from, or that kind of thing.
Because I know ETSU scheduled a game at Presbyterian this year. We lost that game, which I don't know why we lost that game. But like Brooks's whole family was there at the game.
Oh wow!
I think it's like 20 minutes from Columbia, pretty much. 20, 30 minutes. So it's really close to where all his family lives.
Jeez. I did not know that. Yeah, so watch out for South Carolina or College of Charleston, or
I could see Georgia Tech offering him, or Pitt. I could see either of those jobs offering.
Yeah, Pitt's got to do something, and same with Georgia Tech. All those ACC teams need a serious upgrade at head coach. And trying to segue into not a team that necessarily needs a new head coach, but has Purdue hired a priest or anyone to go to Mackey and like exercise anything going on at the court? Is there something happen? Like, do they need to burn sage?
Do we deny someone with a billy goat at Mackey?
Now, credit to Wisconsin. They made a ton of shots.
They made insane three.
They were like, I mean, they also beat Michigan doing the same thing. So it's not as if they haven't done this before. But I just thought on, the senior day for Braden Smith and everything, I thought they were probably going to beat, Wisconsin pretty comfortably. I think they were 8.5-point favorites going in. And I don't know. It wasn't like I wasn't totally shocked because we'd seen that already before from Purdue. It made me kind of reevaluate like how good Wisconsin can be. But yeah, I mean, where are you at now with Purdue and like heading into what is a pretty stacked at the top Big Ten? Gonna have to go through some teams that they've already had kind of run-ins with before where it didn't go so well with your Michigans, your Illinois, Michigan State. So yeah, where are you at with Purdue now? Where's the concern here?
I would say I'm glad we drew Nebraska.
Yeah.
And not like Michigan or Illinois region. Because it's funny though, we may be having an IU Purdue part 3 this year.
Yeah, and that I mean, Indiana looks horrible. So that would be welcome sight for Purdue here. But yeah, I just like for how good Purdue is offensively, I can't wrap my head around how they haven't been able to. I mean, just all the Ken Palm metrics really love them on offense. They have arguably, one of the best guards, if not the best point guard in the sport, playing for them, and they cannot sustain like a average to replacement level defense in some of these games. And I don't know like how I don't think Painter's a terrible coach. I think he's a good enough coach that you can probably be like, can we patch together like a few stops here? Mm-hmm. Can we hold, if they hold Wisconsin to, 70 points or like 80 points, they win that game. So yeah, I guess, do you have any I guess not suggestions, but like, where is the breakdown on defense for them
I,
that you see the most, and is it
I think
fixable for
it's
them?
I think it's a coaching issue, 100%. Like I I think there's strong rumors in the Purdue fan base that a couple of assistants are going to be moving on. Paul Lusk is the primary defensive head
Yeah.
coach. I've already heard a name for replacement to be like Painter's defensive guy. I wouldn't be shocked if there's a retirement announcement very soon.
Yeah,
And
and
then
I mean, I
Terry
don't mind
Johnson,
that staff.
yeah,
Like Sasha Stefanovic
yeah.
is like, I like him.
PJ's good.
Yeah,
PJ's a great play caller.
so they got some guys there, but yeah, they definitely need something going on there, a change in the defensive side. And I mean, like if I were Purdue, I would certainly be hoping that Notre Dame moved on from Micah Shrewsbury to see if they, if Micah didn't get another job, because
Bring him
obviously
back.
he's got a ton of experience himself. But yeah, that staff needs some kind of overhaul for sure. Because
I know where the name is being floated. It's St. Thomas assistant coach. He's a Purdue guy. St. Thomas is one of the better.
Yeah, St. Thomas had a good year.
Yeah,
they were bouncing Summit tournament. Unfortunately for them, that would have been a good game with them in North Dakota State. But yeah, St. Thomas finally their first year eligible for NCAA tournament play, and yeah, they are one of the better defensive teams in mid-major basketball.
Kenneth Lowe, that's the name.
Okay, gotcha.
He played for Purdue, and he was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year twice in 2003 and 2004.
Oh my gosh! And he's not on the staff now.
Yeah, I guess he started his coaching career. It's just
like, how is that possible?
Yeah,
it seems like he knows his shit. Yeah, but yeah, that defensively, that's going to be. They just have got to be better there, and yeah, who was telling me that? I think Travis was talking about how like High Point would be a tough matchup for Purdue, and I don't think High Point would really.
High Points has a great team, but I don't think they'd be like.
I just don't think they would struggle with a team that wants to like run up and down on them. I still feel like it would be a team that really slows it down and makes it so they can't outscore them. But I don't know. I just feel like Braden Smith is too good to allow one of those double-digit seeds to beat him. But we'll see. I don't know.
It would be a team that presses a lot, to be honest. Because like Purdue's been struggling with turnovers too.
Yeah.
Turnovers and defense and rebounding. Three things that championship level teams shouldn't lack.
And yeah, that would have been well, thank goodness Bucky's out of Samford, because you're talking right out of his playbook there.
I saw like Purdue, like when Purdue was a higher seed, the 8-9 game being Texas A&M and somebody, I was like, oh
yeah,
crap, I don't want to play Texas A&M.
Yeah. Did you get to catch any Michigan State today?
I did not. I did see the
Fears, of course, had another groin kick.
Fears and Mara getting flagrants. What a surprise.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I wonder if he's watching these guys just literally kicking each other and playing dirty. And
I think
both coaches have to defend their, the players' dirtiness. Yeah, I mean, Fears is really good, so I'll give him that, but getting a little tired of
it's like how many it's like freaking Draymond, like how many times are we gonna do this?
Yeah, like 13 years later here. Michigan State's got another one.
What's his name? Dylan Brooks.
Yes, Dylan Brooks was another one that was just like impossible to deal with, but yeah, that's another one there. Michigan wrapping up the Big Ten regular season, getting to celebrate with the trophy on the court there. Axel Lendenborg probably wrapping up Big Ten Player of the Year. Is there any sense in the Purdue community of like underachievement because Michigan was so good this year? Axel Lendenborg was so good. I don't think that I mean, he seemed like he was either going to go Michigan or go to the NBA. So it wasn't as if I don't know if he was ever on Purdue's radar as a transfer. But is there any sense of like underachievement in the Purdue community preseason number one, and then finishing where they did in the conference, and seeing teams like Michigan State, Illinois kind of outdo them?
I think what makes it worse is just not having that marquee Mackey win. Like, I think that's what is really soured stuff in the Purdue fan base. I mean, it's just I know last weekend after the Ohio State loss, it seemed like Braden Smith was having like a mental breakdown almost. But
yeah,
I don't know what he was doing posting the Allen Iverson practice on his story on Instagram, but I think it's just like a lack of disappointment because they just didn't get to that level. Even finishing 7th in the Big Ten, that's not what this team was supposed to be. It's not like one of those years where you have good players, but you're not the best. Because we had added Oscar Clough. Oscar Clough was kind of a disappointment.
Yeah,
Although I'm still, if he comes back next year, I'll take him. But it's just a lack of like all the pieces haven't fit together like they should have, and like when one player has a good game, the other rest of the team doesn't show up, and it's been a carousel like that kind of. Like Fletcher Loyer will have a great game, and then the rest of the team won't show up. CJ Cox on Wednesday had a great game against Northwestern, and it was kind of a bad game from Braden Smith and others. No one else could really hit shots, get rebounds. The big men didn't really show up. And then like TKR will have a great game, and then Braden Smith doesn't show up. It's like kind of one of those things,
Yeah, it was kind of wild. I mean, Northwestern had them kind of dead to rights, and they needed some CJ Cox threes to get them out of that one. And Chris Collins is just, I'm sure the players really like playing for him, who he's got on his team, but just like from a neutral fan perspective, he is unhinged. Like, he is first team, like right there with the Hurleys. He is, like in that discussion of coaches.
Danny Hurley did the same thing against Marquette yesterday that Chris Collins did at that Purdue game 2 years ago, getting teed up and ejected with like 1 second left in the game.
Pretty much, yeah. Dan got his money's worth for like a pretty awful showing at Marquette, and that terrible shot they took. Not a foul, and he was like, I'm getting out of here. Very tough times on the road in the Big East. UConn might have just choked away their 1 seed, which could be a problem because Florida seems to be on a serious heater, just beating the brakes off of everyone, beating Kentucky pretty badly. I don't know if you saw Dick Vitale from the top rope just calling out like the roster troubles and how bad the Kentucky roster was assembled. The SEC seems like it's going to run through Florida entirely. Seems like Florida and Alabama are the 2 best teams in the conference right now. I'm not as high on Vanderbilt today as most other people, and Nate Ament didn't play for Tennessee in that Vanderbilt game that they lost. But I don't know if it would have mattered anyway. SEC, that one's going to be Florida, and if Florida wins, it's going to be hard to deny them a 1 seed. I know UConn has a head-to-head with them, and UConn's probably going to need to run through that Big East tournament. In order to get that, they'll probably have to beat St. John's because that'll be a resume booster for them. It's a kind of a crazy turn of events there, and seems as if Travis has made it back to his hotel room.
Back.
So we covered ETSU talk and SoCon talk. We covered covered Purdue talk. didn't know if there was something buried under Mackey this year. Went over that a bit.
Yeah,
And now we're
I think we have the curse of the goat that the Cubs had. Curse
First
of
off,
the,
wanted to say thank you to Daniel for joining us for that Sun Belt recap. Shout out to him. Other than that, where we at, boys?
Well, I'm talking about UConn troubles, getting into ins and outs of the Big East. How UConn might have just choked away NCAA tournament 1 seed at the hands of Florida because Florida seems unbeatable.
Big East regular season crown as well.
Yes, yeah.
Second
Very
straight year
stuff.
that Dan has lost the Big East regular season to Rick Pitino. I know that's probably driving him fucking insane.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I swear that's probably like 50% of the reason he got that ejection, because he was like, I cannot fucking believe that I have to share this with that guy again. And I
it's
think
not
he
shared though. Didn't St. John's win it outright?
I think they did. I gotta check if they actually.
I think St. John's won it outright.
But as UConn and Purdue, we're not the only ones with kind of rough weekends here. We certainly have our resident Auburn correspondent back in here now, and
oh boy,
what a bizarre week it has been for Auburn men's basketball.
Yeah.
The most prominent face in the history of the program, arguably, alongside Charles Barkley, Bruce Pearl, saying some questionable things at best that he probably should not have said publicly.
Are we talking about basketball or non-basketball?
Wow. Oh, I was going to start with basketball. Basically,
we're not going to talk about the non-basketball stuff.
Yeah, confirming the allegations and really making the Bama fans weekend, calling Stephen Pearl basically the face of nepo babies in college basketball. That was a confusing move by him. Did he say that on Dan Patrick?
No, Dan Dockich.
Oh, Dockich. I knew he said it on a Dan. And I can't believe that he would. Yeah, like that was one. That's a bold interview to take in the first place, and two, credit to Dan Dockich for getting that soundbite out of him. But yeah, just a wild turn of events, and then obviously culminated with, yesterday, Bama.
All right, this table's too long.
At the hands of LeBaron Philon and Aiden Holloway, really kind of taking it to Auburn, and Stephen Pearl addressing the media after the game, kind of campaigning for Auburn to make the NCAA tournament, which kind of rang hollow to a lot of fans, given what Bruce said.
That's my one thing is, of all the stuff that happened this week, what's Stephen supposed to get up there and say, like, no, we suck? Like what's he supposed to say there?
He's supposed to campaign for his team. I think the timing, now granted, and I don't think this is his fault. I think he's supposed to campaign for his team, but I think his dad made it really difficult for him to be able to do it in a way that people weren't going to kind of roll their eyes and be like, yeah, like people were tweeting like, oh, this guy, of course, guys whose dad got him the job thinks that the NCAA tournament appearance should just be handed to him. And everything, like, it's kind of another example, as we've talked about, of Bruce Pearl really putting his son in what was a very difficult spot. I think coaches campaigning for their teams, I'm not always the biggest fan of it. I think it's kind of a waste of time, and it's just the media putting angry men on the spot and forcing them to rant and rave about their teams. But where are we with Auburn basketball today after just a whirlwind of basically a media circus, and now heading into the SEC tournament, where obviously their season is on the line, and in many ways, Stephen Pearl's reputation as well, inadvertently, with everything that's gone on.
I mean, number one, like, for starters, like, no team with 16 losses or more has ever gotten an at-large. So, no, Auburn should not make the tournament. Like, and I'm very comfortable saying that. Like, I mean, what are we even talking about?
I want to give you a lot of credit, because you were spot on about the the Bama stuff where you were like, yeah, it would be better for us to actually not accept the NIT invite because those fans are just going to like meme us into oblivion, which they already seem to have done in the last few days, given what's been going on. So good call by you there on the Bama fan reaction.
It's not good. It's not good. I mean, I just want to say, like, first of all, like Keyshawn Hall might be the most detrimental basketball player. All four teams. So he's played for four teams in his college basketball career, and all three teams he has left have gotten better the year after he left.
Keyshawn Store. Yeah.
He is not.
Store, Cabar, what's that guy's name? Andre Cabello, whatever his name was.
Keyshawn Hall is not a winning basketball player. Thankfully, I was watching some great basketball in Pensacola yesterday, so I didn't have to watch it, and I'm glad that's the case. No, it was bad. It's embarrassing, and it's honestly shameful that like we're still even having the discussion about Auburn getting an at large, which to me is like that's an indictment on the SEC or not the SEC, but like the bubble as a whole. That Auburn is even still in the mix for this thing. And
It's a
like,
great argument why NCAA tournament expansion is a terrible idea.
no, yeah, there were a lot of people saying so. Rocco Miller, who is the bracketologist for Field of 68, they had him on their show yesterday, and he was like, I have 66 teams in my field right now, and I don't know where the other two spots are going to go. Um, yeah, it's bad, man. Like, they don't deserve to be in the at-large discussion. Bruce Pearl is just destroying his reputation in Auburn. It's sad, man. It's sad. Like the comments you mentioned, like just what an idiotic thing to say. Like you just want
It's
to put
idiotic
even.
in itself, but it really like it just puts his son in a really tough spot.
It's an impossible spot
Yeah.
to put him in. Like how was he's going to have to go build a roster in the offseason. And what do you need to build a roster in this climate in college basketball? You need money. And are people going to want to shell their money out for Stephen Pearl to build a team when his dad, who anointed him as his successor, is like, yup, damn right, he's a Nepo baby? I mean, what are we doing, man?
Yeah, not a good look.
I will say, Bruce Pearl tweeted out congratulations to Brooks Savage earlier. I did see that.
Who gives a fuck, Jacob?
Well, and now I think it's kind of disingenuous because I actually think that Bruce was, as a broadcaster, I actually prefer to see like some of his takes on, like, independent of him campaigning for his son and Auburn being in the field. I actually prefer to see someone be the contrarian and be like, yeah, Miami shouldn't be an at-large. They have played no one. They are not a good team. And I actually was like, yeah, Bruce, like, have a controversial take. Then he totally just walked it back after the Miami OAD was just like, tweeting back at him and everything. And now he said today on CBS, like, pounding the table, being like, yes, they're in. They're like 100% in. They should be in. I'm like, what happened? Like, what changed your mind? That, like, because they won a road game at Ohio, they now belong in the field? Like, I don't know. That was kind of annoying. And I was like, well, at least he'll kind of be a heel of college basketball broadcasters kind of here and analysts, where he'll always have something controversial to say. And now we don't have that because now he's walking back everything that he said about Miami and how they're like, definitely an at-large team. I'm like, no, just stick with your guns, man. Like, just go with what you said before. But yeah, so wild times there, and it's crazy just that where Auburn basketball was a year ago, where Bruce Pearl was a year ago, and now he's in this situation. It's just kind of crazy to see where he's at.
What a terrible week. Like, that's like Auburn's related to that, but like for bubble teams in general,
I think
like,
they were like 0-9.
yeah, I
Of the
mean,
nine.
Ohio
Yeah.
State was the only one that won, and Ohio State was playing uh, another bubble team in Indiana, and then um, Texas A&M is one of the only other winners, and I mean, their win was a 3 overtime win against LSU, the worst team in the SEC. So, whew, yeah, it's the bubble is rough right now. Um, I mean, I'll just go through some of these results. Virginia Tech put up a fight. They lost by 4 to Virginia.
That press
Missouri lost.
conference by Mike Young. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah. Um, Missouri lost to Arkansas without Darius Acuff. Um, I'm just going through some of these, rattling them off. Um, let's see. Who else? Bubble. SMU got smoked at Florida State.
Yes.
That's a terrible loss. Um, NC State lost at home to Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
There's um, Georgia's another bubble team with some success. I guess they get a road win at Mississippi State. Um, who else on here? Just going through the tour. Like we mentioned, the Ohio State, Indiana. Ohio State is probably comfortably in the field now. Texas A&M with the overtime win against LSU. 3 overtimes. Exactly. Who else? Big losers. We mentioned Auburn. Uh, Texas loses at home to Oklahoma. I still think Texas
Yeah.
should be in the field, but that's a loss too. Uh, USC is done. They got smoked at home by UCLA. Um, let's see. Um, New Mexico lost to Utah State. Yeah, bad weekend for bubble teams.
Yeah, definitely. One of the worst
Um,
bubbles in recent memory for sure.
yeah, and this is the bubble that we're going to expand the tournament off of.
Yes.
Great job. Um, you said you already talked about the UConn stuff, Matt. Did you have
Yeah.
Dan didn't touch him. He did not touch
Oh
him.
yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he's not suspended because he didn't touch
Yeah.
him. Um, man, there's nothing like I
That
think
Fox
that was just
producer who had the double box of Dan and Bobby both getting teed up and ejected. In Dan's case, he was ejected. Bobby got a tee, but had the double box of them at the same time. Bravo to whoever that was in the Fox truck who was like, "I got a great idea," and that
do you
worked to
have
perfection.
do you have any confidence that this UConn team can win a national championship still? I
It's
mean,
hard to say. I mean,
you've just been waiting for them to click all year, and you thought that St. John's game might have been it, and then they turn up like you got to win one game to get a Big East crown, and they can't get it done. Um, it's looking rough.
yeah, it's. I mean, they. I think their out of conference stuff is still what they're gonna hang their hat on the most, and their 2023 team that won. Um, they did not play well in Big East play. They were fourth in the conference in the regular season after being just like wiping everybody out.
Yeah, but
Um,
that team had Stephon Castle.
but no, that team, Castle was not on that team. That was like Andre Jackson, Adama Sanogo was on that team. That
Oh,
was Caravan's first year. Castle was one and done on the team next year. But
got my
yeah,
years mixed up.
they ran through the non-conference, except they lost a game at Allen Fieldhouse to Kansas, and they pretty much sleepwalked through Big East play. They couldn't beat anybody. They got swept by Creighton, I think. Xavier beat them twice, and then they got to the Big East semifinal against Marquette, and Marquette beat them in a really close game. Marquette won the Big East that year, and then yeah, UConn got a 4 seed, and the rest is history. So yeah, I mean they've done it before. They certainly have the talent to do it. Just something for them has not clicked on the offensive side of things. So offensively, they haven't been good enough to this point, and they are probably going to need to beat St. John's to kind of have the 1 seed discussion again, or they're going to need to hope that somebody in the SEC beats Florida, which does not seem very likely. So, yeah, it's definitely frustrating because they should be so much better, and it's kind of been like waiting for them to take off. But, we'll see. They've only lost 4 games, so it's not as if the season is in any way in doubt or anything, but just because the top of the sport is so good with your Arizonas, Duke, and now Florida and Michigan, it's going to be hard. It's just, when they won in 2023, Bama was the top overall seed, and that was kind of like a shaky Bama team, and San Diego State beat them. So, yeah, it's just kind of a different equation, but we'll see.
One of the other biggest stories of the weekend, I mentioned it yesterday, but Duke lost or won the game against North Carolina, but it wasn't without a cost because Caleb Foster went down, and seems like that's a significant injury if they don't have Caleb Foster going forward, because they hang their hat on their defense, and without him, that's their best perimeter defender, one of the best perimeter defenders in the country, and he went down in that game against North Carolina. So even in a win for Duke, that's a huge loss for them if they're not going to have him. I know Gongba's injured as well. I don't think his injury is as serious as what we might be looking at Caleb Foster, but Duke, currently the favorite to win the national championship, suffered a significant loss in that win against North Carolina. And also pray for Duke betters at the end of that game, because that was a terrible spread beat. But yeah, Duke wins. Caleb Foster injury. Thoughts on that one?
I know. I mean, you got Caleb Wilson out for the year for UNC, and then you got what's his face? Previously mentioned. I mean, who? Caleb Foster out for the year as well. So, that might hurt Duke's deep run ability in the tournament, especially if he's out. He's out for the year, right?
He might be.
Yeah.
Nothing yet from Shire on the extent, but it seems like his is a lot more serious than Gongba's, which Gongba would be if they don't have Foster or Gongba, they can't win a national championship. But I think they will have Gongba back. But
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Caleb
Matt,
Foster's not going to be in there, but and a team that their guard depth was already pretty shaky as is. So that's not going to help them in any way, shape, or form. Good news for Duke, they're still deep. They have a deep team. Not deep enough where obviously they can lose both those guys and continue, but yeah, they have the depth to recover from that for now. But yeah, it definitely puts a huge dent in their title hopes this year. So that's tough for
Caden
Duke.
Boozer is really going to need to step up now if they don't have Foster the rest of the year.
Yeah. That's going to be tough, to say the least.
So do you still think Duke can win a national championship without Caleb Foster?
Yeah, I mean, it's on the table. It's just going to be like, can they beat Michigan without Caleb Foster or Arizona without Caleb Foster? Like, probably not. But, if they kind of avoid those teams and Boozer still continues to bully ball them all the way to, Indianapolis, then yeah, it's on the table. They're still really good. So yeah, they're definitely going to roll through ACC competition with or without him, regardless. So yeah, I mean they can, but I don't think. I think the better question is like, who are the teams they can't beat without him, and that's where I think it becomes a little more complicated.
You got to look at the teams that shoot it really well because I mean he's their best perimeter defender. So
Sure.
I mean, uh, yeah, I mean if they get matched up with with an elite shooting team that just comes out and berates them with threes and they can't get out and defend without him, like that's where they could get in trouble, and that's where not having him is going to be a significant loss.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that was a huge loss. For Duke gets the win, but just can't really celebrate. Give me 1 second. I need to find this TV remote to take the reins again.
I do. I don't know. I don't have much more on the Duke UNC story. It just comes down to health. I think of course, UNC season is kind of falling apart just with injuries to key players down the stretch. Duke, it's going to be a health question throughout March Madness. Just, just if they have their stars healthy, can uh, Cameron Boozer, uh, Cam Boozer carry them all the way over a team like Michigan or Arizona, where there's multiple players that can put up numbers like he can. But I do want to mention one story from the weekend. One of the big stories we haven't covered: Miami of Ohio finishes the regular season 31-0 in an absolutely insane game on Friday night.
That game
Right.
rocked.
That was
That was
that
yeah.
was I got home. I had left the Big South game and I turned it on. I was like, it was like that whole overtime sequence went to overtime, and you just back and forth the whole way. And all the Ohio fans are like fired up, throwing crap on the court, talking trash. It was a rivalry game, and
That was a
it's
great environment
yeah.
and just like restored my faith in like good college basketball. Like both those fan bases hate each other. And that's up there for one of the biggest games in MAC history with just what was on the line for Miami. Ohio had two of their guards who were just lights out. They got whatever they wanted. Yeah, finished what 100 at the end of regulation, and yeah, that was a great basketball game. So yeah, really fun
Jackson
stuff.
Paveleski,
Yeah,
he was absolutely insane. Just drove to the basket, had 37 points.
and I hate all the people who are like, show some class, Miami. Like,
It's like they're waving
yeah,
by.
what
They're
do you think
throwing
they've been
crap on the
hearing the whole
floor.
game? Yeah, like,
Probably other
yeah,
the most raucous shit ever.
like, yeah, I would celebrate. You're undefeated, beating your biggest rival on their home floor. Like, yeah, I'll flip off a few fans, or like, don't mind if I do.
Yeah, that was a fucking awesome game, like you mentioned.
There was like 3 flagrant fouls in the game and like
Yeah,
just insane stuff.
Um, Two results to note from the weekend too. Teams getting it done with injuries. Duke or Louisville took down Miami
it was a good
without
game.
Mikel Brown, and also Arkansas beating Mizzou on the road without Darius Acuff. Thought that was big wins and big confidence boost for both of those teams. To particularly with the Louisville one because I don't know if they're going to have Mikel Brown period at this point with this back issue he's been having. And then Arkansas able to get the win with without Darius Acuff. Either you had thoughts on either of those?
That big win for both. I think it's more likely Mikael Brown probably just shuts it down, gets ready to prepare for the NBA. So
Oh, I was just
Jacob,
looking. What?
I was saying, do you have thoughts on
Oh,
either of those?
not really. I mean, Louisville gets a win, much needed win. Arkansas, they continue to be one of the offensive team. Nice bounce back win after getting absolutely throttled last weekend against Florida. But yeah, not much else to say there.
And wanted to make sure I gave shouts to over the weekend High Point, Queens, Northern Iowa, North Dakota State, Tennessee State, and Long Island all punched tickets to the NCAA tournament. Long Island not by winning their conference
Yeah,
tournament, but because um, Mercyhurst is not eligible to go to the NCAA tournament. So Long Island, congratulations on punching your ticket to Dayton.
I
yeah,
do got to shout out the A-Sun Queens with their first tournament bid ever over the favorite Central Arkansas. Cameron Hunter for Central Arkansas had 49 points in the game
yes,
today.
he
That was
dragged them,
wild.
and that was one that I still don't understand how Queens plays no defense. Queens is fun. I think they got 6 guys who average double
Yeah,
figures. They're really like fun basketball team to watch, but they play 0 defense. So I can't believe that worked for them over the course of their conference tournament. And yeah, credit to them. They'll
yeah,
be fun fodder for someone if they played Arkansas or Bama. That game will be like total for that one will be like 190 or 200.
yeah.
So
By the
That
way,
was a good
fun
one.
fact: this was Queen's first and will be their last NCAA tournament appearance because they are merging with Elon after
Uh,
this season.
yeah, it's crazy.
I thought it
Um,
was like I thought it was just like a Elon Charlotte campus. I thought.
is it?
I thought it was like a subset
I
of
hope it
something.
is
Yeah, it was
because
Elon
they're really
University.
fun. So I hope that.
Elon University Charlotte
Thank
is
goodness.
who they're
Oh.
merging with. And
Um,
then Tennessee State, it was their first bid since 1994.
shout out Nolan Smith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nolan Smith. They look like a good. They're probably the only team from the OVC worth a crap this year.
By the way, Nolan Smith, Memphis job,
Maybe.
putting him
I
in the
think
running for that.
yeah. And then
Could be.
what was I going to mention?
North Dakota State.
Yeah, North Dakota State made it too. Northern
Yeah.
Iowa won the Missouri Valley as first ever team 6 seed or lower to win that conference after all the higher seeds crap the bed.
We need like
Technically,
14 seed Northern Iowa versus
Yeah.
3 seed Kansas in the first round.
Yeah. Just for the memes. Ali Farouk Manesh makes an appearance.
He's
Comes back onto the court.
he's a coach now.
Colorado State.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything else from the weekend before we start throwing these brackets up? I'm convinced Georgia Southern's going to win the national championship after the last 2 days, but
I love the I think the Sun Belt and the SoCon have been the best 2 conference tournaments of the weekend. Just like such great basketball out there.
The MAC in its final season has been pretty entertaining.
MAC.
So I must say, yeah,
Fairfield. I think
it's been a good one.
Siena tonight.
Merrimack played Marist in a tough one today. That was a good game.
Well, Jacob, start throwing these brackets up.
I will. I got them pulled up right here.
You guys ready to make some picks?
Yeah. We'll start. Do you want to go alphabetical?
Yeah, you just
Okay.
do them in the order I sent you.
Okay. Present. No, not that. Share screen. There we go. I guess we'll start with the American. Got it pulled up. I think it's very clearly. I think South Florida has got this one. I think the final is gonna be South Florida and Tulsa, and I think South Florida takes home the American this year to get their first appearance in who knows how long.
I'm gonna go with Tulsa in this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to come
Tulsa's been a
down
good
to
team this year. They've kind of fallen off the last few months, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Tulsa in this one. But shout out to South Florida, great season, and great tribute to Amir Abdur Rahim yesterday.
Mhm.
So yeah, great season for them. I'll go with Tulsa in this one.
Gonna go Tulsa as well. Watch out for UAB. UAB's got my guy Chance Westry on there. Got to shout him out. Andy
Did you
Kennedy
hear
had an
him
all-time quote today.
Yeah, getting
about
blasted.
Chance. I cannot think of a more Chance is easily one of the most talented basketball players I've seen, and that is a perfect representation from Andy Kennedy. How he described him, and then how he finished it off with yep, but he's the most talented guy I've ever coached. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. So,
By the way, I just saw it on the screen. Reminded me of the saddest result of the weekend. R.I.P. Navy.
Yeah.
that one was very frustrating. Belmont was very frustrating. UNC Wilmington was extremely frustrating.
That's wild. That was the wildest result of the day.
Yeah. It was just a bad draw for them. UNC Wilmington struggled with Campbell all season. And then, of course, they got to play him in the conference tournament. And now that one feels like it's Hofstra's to lose.
So we got me and Matt on Tulsa here and Jacob on South Florida.
Okay.
Anything else on the American?
I just want Brian Hodgson, great coach for South Florida, getting them back up there after Abdur Rahim. His life he passed away too young, but that's all. Okay, I guess I'll move on to ACC.
Pass. Next. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, it's going to be, I think Duke goes all the way.
If Duke doesn't have Gongba and Foster, though, I kind of think Virginia picks them off in the championship here.
I think it's gonna be Duke versus Miami in the final. I could see Miami upsetting Duke.
I just don't see any scenario where the problem Miami and Virginia, they don't have anyone to stop Route 1 for you gotta start there if you're gonna beat Duke.
You're right. I'm a good Duke here. I was trying to talk myself into it.
Yeah, I was too.
Well, hold on. We got to talk bubble in this one. Well, NC State is, I think they're in, but if they get picked off by Stanford or Pitt, there's a conversation to be had about NC State. I'll say that one about them. That's good. That's a win, or you're at best going to Dayton. If NC State drops to Stanford, they're more than likely.
But watch out for Stanford. Stanford's got some really good guards.
And they just beat NC State yesterday.
They did, yes. They were 8.5-point dogs. They won at NC State. Yeah, that's just a great coaching job done there, like House Smith and the gang. So, yeah, really happy for Stanford and hope they keep winning. Mecca Corey, one of the better freshman guards in the country. So, hopefully they can pay him to stay.
SMU really needs to get to that Louisville game and win that one if they're going to see the field.
Yeah. I've checked out on SMU. Yeah, they're out to me.
I mean, unfortunately, with how bad this bubble is,
Yeah.
you really can't, though.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about NC State. NC State's had struggled here recently. They just haven't looked good in Will Wade's first year.
Some would say, has SMU been booped off the bubble?
Hopefully.
Boopy.
I'm tired of them. Yeah. So.
Okay. Is there anything else on ACC or be good?
Matt was just immediately like, pass.
Yeah. Next.
Okay. I guess I'll move on to A10.
Oh, we're going A10.
I
thought the America East was going to get some love first, but
George Mason beat the shit out of St. Louis yesterday.
I was looking at
that. Them.
What St. Louis is kind of like down the stretch here is like kind of played themselves into bubble contention. Like
I was going to say, is St. Louis still a lock to make the field regardless of what happens here?
I think they've got to.
They should be. That conference is good. That conference is like not
Speaking
bad.
of which, Duquesne's comeback was insane. like from down 30.
St. Louis and VCU are good enough to be like at larges.
I think VCU is going to be in like. I think
VCU is a lock. Last I checked,
they should be.
Yeah, I think St. Louis and VCU. I think St. Louis and VCU would both be at larges regardless, and we could really get a bid stealer out of this one.
Dayton's kind of had an up and down year. They could honestly win this tournament.
Dayton is good defensively, and they have the biggest player in the conference, Lamel Latang, their center. He is 7'1". He is a giant. Like just one of the best rim protectors in the country. So, Dayton alone is going to defend the paint really well. I don't know if they can score enough, but I would not be totally shocked. I just think the top of the conference is too good for a team like Dayton to win it this year. But they're good.
George Mason as a 5 seed. That's also.
I mean, they just beat the absolute piss out of St. Louis yesterday. So
they kind of struggled. Like they dropped a few games and they've kind of brought it back around.
Well, Mason. I mean, like they were a team that was on a roll at the start of the season, and then they lost 4 straight badly. Like they did not, they were not competitive in any of those games. And they just got worked. And then finally they started to kind of turn it around with that. As you guys said, that they hammered the shit out of St. Louis. It was outrageous. And then, I mean, and still like all these teams have size. Like most of these teams in the conference all have size. Like Mason's got Riley Allensbach. He is one of Bucky's guys from Samford that transferred to George Mason. He's huge. I think he's 6'10", 6'11". But all these teams are like really high level defenses because they all got bigs that can defend the paint. Like Rafael Castro for George Washington is a force. George Washington has some big wins. They could be a team that kind of comes out of nowhere in this. And then obviously Robbie Avila from St. Louis is the people are calling him the Jokic of college basketball, but
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's a bit of a stretch for me.
You guys peeped the basketball, by the way.
Yes, very good.
We got the Sun Belt ball.
But
just had to show that off real quick.
But A10 tournament's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of low-scoring games. But if I had to pick one of these teams, I mean, we didn't talk about St. Joe's, who's not. I don't think St. Joe's is that good, but they were like 3rd in the league. We talk about teams that have size. St. Joe's has no size. They are.
St. Joe's is on a skid. I think they've lost like 5 or 6 in a row.
So they have no size, and they are gonna, yeah, VCU is probably gonna smoke them. Fucking A. I
I'm
won't
taking
allow myself
VCU.
not to. Yeah,
Give me.
like
I'm gonna go with the underdog pick. Give me Dayton.
I just think VCU has a way easier path. Like George Washington is not gonna like. Let me see here. Like, oh my gosh,
That top of the
yeah, I'll take VCU. Give me VCU.
that top of the bracket is brutal.
Yeah, that's a gauntlet. Yeah,
I'm
So
gonna
we
go
got
Dayton.
and yeah, like VCU size their own. Like Lazar Djokovic is, he's a tank himself. So yeah, I'll take VCU. I think they're gonna crush St. Joe's, and yeah, I'll give me VCU.
One more thing I gotta mention: Mark Schmidt is retiring from St. Bonaventure or being forced out
Retiring. Yeah.
by Woj.
Yeah, Woj is Woj is making some moves there.
Mm-hmm. But
so we got Jacob on Dayton and me and Matt on VCU in that one.
so, anything else out of the A10? Are we good to move on?
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Okay. Next up, the Big East.
Here we go.
God, no American East tournament. Unbelievable. No love for UMBC in Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did I? Oh, my bad.
Oh, well, you're good. I can recap it now. It's terrible. This is the worst the American East has ever been. It's basically just Vermont and UMBC. This is UMBC's best team since Ryan Odom left. Shout out Jim Ferry, who has taken over the reins at UMBC. Former Duquesne and Penn State coach, Jalakai King. He is UMBC stud, and Ace Valentine, their point guard. They've won 10 in a row. They used to be horrible on defense. They used to be in the 300s every year on defense. No longer the case now. They defend significantly better. And on the Vermont side of things, this is not one of Vermont's better teams. Usually Vermont's kind of floating in the KenPom tournament team range. This year, that is not the case. The only thing they have going for them this year is that I think they might have a better coach for sure with John Becker, and they played a much tougher schedule than UMBC. They nearly beat Yale. They beat Merrimack, and they nearly beat Liberty. Pretty sure. So yeah, American East is going to come down to those two teams. Gus Yalden, the Seton Hall transfer, going to be American East Player of the Year for Vermont. So it's going to be those two teams battling it out for the right to be probably a 16 seed. So watch out. Any one seed on the one line. So there's your American East update there. But the conference stinks. It's bad.
How
Only
happy
two
is
teams over 500, and it's those two. So
I just wanted to say how happy is Dan that Seton Hall is on St. John's side of the bracket here.
yeah, really, yeah. Thank goodness for that. Yeah.
What are we thinking here, boys?
I'm going UConn.
Do we think any chance we get any championship here besides St. John's UConn?
There's a chance. I could see Seton Hall going on a run, but
Well, I think
think it's gonna
Nova
be-
picking off
Yeah.
It would
UConn
be
would be
Seton
the
Hall or
one.
Creighton. I just think that Nova's not. I don't know. I don't see them being the ones to. If anyone that's going to be UConn, I would say is on the other side.
What is Dan gonna do against Marquette if he gets Marquette again?
He won't get ejected this time. There's some basketball related stuff they could have done better, but I'm pretty sure he probably wants Marquette.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
he had it his way. Yeah.
Run it up on them.
Yeah.
Can UConn play their way back into one seed contention here? I mean, they're going to get a chance to get two solid quad one wins against Nova and St. John's. If they pull those, can UConn play their way back onto the one line, or has
They
that ship
can.
sailed?
I mean, they definitely can, and it is. I mean, they have the tiebreaker over Florida in theory, if it came down to that. So they still have the head-to-head. So see how valuable that is at the end of the day to them. And I would say there's probably a stronger likelihood of Florida like running in because the SEC is just so much better than the Big East. Of Alabama knocking them off, or someone in the SEC, but I don't know. I mean, I would have. It all honestly depends on how heavily they value the head-to-head between both those teams.
So we're all going UConn here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go UConn. I'll go UConn. I don't think anyone else in the Big East is all that impressive, unless there's just a random UConn gets sniped off in one of these like random games.
What happened to my Big East tournament?
It's just a down.
This
year
used to
for
be the one.
UConn. Yeah, yeah. That back when UConn and Syracuse, and that was the game, the Kemba Walker game that went to 6 overtimes.
Oh, yeah, you had Pitt in there also. Louisville,
Cuse,
yeah, Notre
Georgetown.
Dame.
Marquette is bad this year too. So
Are there any bubble implications here? Like,
No,
I think so.
yeah. So, pretty insignificant tournament, all things considered.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's really just the one seed stuff. So
Yeah.
Okay. I think we've covered the Big East pretty good. So guess we'll go on to the Big Ten.
All right, I got to look at this one.
Top side of the bracket is brutal.
yeah,
Preseason number 1 in the country, and you draw a 7 seed in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
I guess they're putting every team in it this year. You notice that?
are they real?
Yeah.
Not that I pay attention or care to the bottom of the Big Ten standings, but
How many people are going to be at that for that first day? Oregon, Maryland, and Northwestern Penn State.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
That's rough.
They're making workers show up at the United Center for those games.
Yeah.
That's like having the one game, like a first round game for one of these smaller conferences, having one game for the 2 worst teams in the conference. It's like doesn't even make any sense, to be honest.
Did you guys hear Izzo's comments today?
Yeah,
The
he
game?
was fuming.
We're fucking nobody's little brother. Like,
I think I'm gonna go. I think Illinois is gonna win it.
I think
Win it
Michigan
all.
rolls here.
I am going Michigan over UCLA in the
Oh.
championship.
I will go Michigan over Nebraska.
If Purdue does not beat Nebraska, that would be like
Yeah.
sound the alarm.
It's just like Purdue. They can't defend anybody. Like it's that's what it comes to. Like
They can't defend anybody, but I think they can defend Nebraska.
Just too much inconsistency. Like I was going when you were gone, going back to the hotel. I was like, yeah, Purdue. When one player has a great game, the rest of the team doesn't show up. Like Braden Smith will have a great game, and TKR is off in La La Land, or CJ Cox will go off, and Braden Smith is throwing balls to the third row, and then you have some random guy that's shooting 28% on the year, hit six threes in a game, and it's kind of that's the defense is what has cost us, especially at Mackey. Some of these games at Mackey.
If UCLA does, if my prediction is correct, where is Mick Cronin having UCLA watch Selection Sunday? On
whatever the
tarmac,
best,
in the hotel,
whatever the best winery in Chicago is. Like,
yeah, like on the plane.
It'll be at like some like cigar bar in Chicago.
They'll be
Bubble.
drinking Mallert.
What are we thinking? Bubble here. I think Ohio State is
Yeah, I
in.
guess Ohio State should. I mean, they should be in the field, but I
Ohio
guess
State in,
any kind of a
Indiana
win
out.
would settle it.
I think Indiana
Indiana
out.
needs to. They obviously need to win that first game. Indiana needs. I think if Indiana beats Purdue, they're back on it. I think Indiana probably needs to win 2 games here or 3 games here
Yeah,
to have a shot. Yeah, USC is done. I don't even think we need to discuss them anymore.
no,
I think UCLA is solidly in at this point. The bubble's just so bad that you've had teams like UCLA just be artificially elevated.
yeah,
I do think Purdue needs to at least beat Nebraska to keep a good seed. At least stay on that 3 seed line.
I think 3 seed, that ship has sailed. Like,
Yeah, well, we're projected a 3 seed right now. Still,
that is crazy. Like,
it's just the teams behind us haven't done anything to improve themselves other than maybe Wisconsin because they beat us. That was about it.
I think Michigan's going to roll here ultimately, though.
they should.
I think Illinois is going to get revenge on Michigan. I just have a
I think
sneaking suspicion.
Bucky is going to pick off Illinois.
We will see.
Wisconsin's been great. Like,
They have. Yeah, I could see Wisconsin beating Illinois.
yeah, I'm
Wisconsin's
going to say
definitely going to
Bucky.
like shoot the lights out one of these games.
The
Like,
thing about the Big Ten tournament is like you don't have to be a great team. You just got to be hot offensively. Like have an insane offense. It's just one or two guys shooting lights out can carry you all the way to the championship. That's usually how it's been in recent years.
At least the committee doesn't even need to pretend this year like this championship game impacts anything.
No, it don't. That's usually how it is. You go into
But they don't
Sunday
even
and
need
it's
to
like,
pretend this year. Like,
yeah, the bracket is already set before the game even tips off.
so I'm going Michigan over Nebraska. Matt's going Michigan over UCLA, and Jacob, you're going Illinois over who?
I'm gonna go Michigan State, Illinois over Michigan State.
Anything else from this one?
I think that's it. Guess we'll
Will you
move
guys be
on.
tuning in on Tuesday night?
I can't say that I might turn it on. I don't know. We'll see what's going on. But next one's Big 12.
Jacob, can you open your DMs with Brooks Savage?
Yeah,
I saw it on the side.
yeah.
No, I thought it was going to be like you giving him coaching advice or something.
No. It's just me. I don't do that. I'm not doing that.
Cam Morris to get in the fucking game. Tell him to toughen up.
I'm not that stupid.
This is the one right here.
Yeah, I just probably be the tournament of the week if I had to guess.
With the LED court.
Yeah, the LED court that can be hacked.
Yeah.
I saw the funniest tweet last week. It was like, imagine some college student hacks into the court and then puts up the guy. You know what I'm talking about?
What is the most likely fan base here to hack the court?
I'm gonna go West Virginia.
I don't think
No,
they. No, yeah.
they're too stupid. Like,
This has got to be to me. Um, I would say
Texas
consolation
Tech.
to Texas Tech. Yeah, because yeah, they're the craziest.
Yeah.
I would say BYU is the most likely find
'Cause
a
the thing,
way to get into it and hack it or
Texas
something.
Tech is crazy, but they're also smart.
Yeah, and they've got money for all time.
Mike Leach's court.
What are we thinking here, boys? I gave UCF a lot of credit a couple weeks ago, and I don't think they've won a game since.
Yeah.
The Bears.
The Bears could. Um, the Bears got a relatively favorable draw here. I say relatively, but I still don't think it will amount to anything. They could pick off Iowa State. I wouldn't be shocked, but this to me, Arizona is gonna run through. Probably run through UCF. Probably run through Texas Tech. And then man, that like Kansas is just asking to like. Do we think Darren Peterson plays on the LED
How many? I
court?
was about to ask, how many
Yeah.
minutes does Darren Peterson play in this tournament?
I'm just gonna take Arizona. I just don't like who is gonna beat them. I don't see a team that's gonna beat them in this unless like I'm guaranteed
Houston.
like the Fog Allen version of Kansas, but yeah,
Houston.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go Houston
Is
over
Kansas
Arizona.
not gonna beat them though? Like Kansas beat the brakes off of Houston. Like that
Yeah,
was
but
as bad as anyone has
Big
ever
Monday
beat
Bill.
them. That is true.
That
But
game's on a Thursday, not a
yes,
Monday.
it's still a basketball game. Like
Or
I
no,
don't
that
know.
game's on a Friday.
That's gonna be tough. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. That is tough. I like part of me is kind of like Arizona knows they've got their 1 seed wrapped up and there's nothing that they're gonna do to change that, and they might just kind of like coast and not care. That is tough. I don't know. If I went down picking Arizona, I would probably be like, this is the one where you're just gonna feel like an idiot regardless if the team you pick doesn't win. Because if Kansas like runs it up and Darren Peterson looks like the first pick in the draft, you're gonna be like, what the fuck was I thinking? Not just picking them. If Houston wins, you're gonna think the same kind of thing. If Arizona, like, I'm probably just gonna go with Arizona. I would feel I have the most confidence in them on a neutral court. Like, I don't know. I'm taking them.
What are we thinking bubble wise in this one?
Well, really, everything's on the table. Like, if you're remotely near the bubble, like you can, like, a run to the final is significant. Like, Baylor is out, but if Baylor wins and picks up like Iowa State, Texas Tech, like, would that be enough to get them in the field? Like, I don't know. Certainly could be if they'd probably be guaranteed if you beat Arizona. That's kind of the like why that tournament's so good because
Like if West Virginia beat like BYU and Houston here, can West
I
Virginia
think
get
that
in
would
at
be
large?
probably.
I could see Oklahoma State or BYU going on a run.
Oklahoma State almost got a really
Yeah,
if they were able to hold on and pull that Houston game off yesterday,
Yeah.
I think we could really be having a serious discussion about Oklahoma State getting an at large, but they really had to get that game against Houston yesterday.
shout out Steve Lutz. He has Oklahoma State looking like a decent program again.
BYU's another like you are a very trendy like an 11 seed's going to beat you. in the first weekend kind of team.
They
I
kind
mean,
of remind
BYU's looking at it like 8-9 line at this point.
Yeah, at this point,
But
they
they
seem to be
but
eyeing
they
that
did get
up.
that win over Tech yesterday. That was
Yeah.
big.
BYU kind of reminds me of that Trey Young Oklahoma team, where
They're kind
were
of better
just like,
than that.
yeah,
That team went to the Final Four.
No,
no,
they were eliminated by Rhode Island, I think.
8-9 game.
They were 7-10. I
Yeah.
was there for that one. That was
The
in
Trey Young
Pittsburgh.
Oklahoma team did not.
You're
They went
you're
to the
thinking
Final Four and lost by 50.
you're
No, that
thinking
was
of Buddy
Buddy
Hield.
Hield the year before.
That was Buddy Hield. You're right. My
Yeah.
bad. My bad. It's late. Sorry, I got my teams
Yeah.
mixed up.
But so I'm going Houston over Arizona, and you all going Arizona.
I'm going
Arizona over
Houston.
Kansas.
Okay.
I'm going to go Houston over Arizona as well.
So, is there anything else on Big 12, or are we good?
Who's the sleeper in this one? We haven't even mentioned Iowa State yet. Can they get back on the horse here? They've been struggling. Can they get hot? Who's the sleeper in this thing?
Their only path. So for like Iowa State, it's tough because they have the best shooter in the country, and their path is like they would have to make a boatload of threes in order to compete with some of these teams, let alone beat them. So I wouldn't say that like they could beat Texas Tech. I just don't think Arizona is the team that they match up really well with. I think they could beat Houston, but I just think that Arizona matchup's really going to be tough for them.
I think
TCU
is a sleeper.
Yeah, TCU.
I'm not saying
TCU should be an at-large. That Notre Dame loss was pretty ugly earlier in the season. They took Michigan to overtime.
If TCU gets Kansas without Peterson, and then
it's on the table. Yeah.
So I think
I could see
TCU would be a I think TCU would be a good sleeper there.
Cincinnati's played really well in Big 12 play recently.
Yeah. What does Wes Miller need to do here to save his job, or is it already safe?
Depends on who you ask, really.
It depends.
If
they win
the only way
games,
that they fire him is if they can get Mick Cronin from UCLA to come back.
I think there's a couple interesting side plots to look at in this tournament. I think Tad Boyle needs to win a couple of these games if he's going to save his job. I think he's won. His job could firmly be dependent on his performance this week.
Yeah, Colorado does not look good.
Yeah.
I think Tad Boyle needs to win that Oklahoma State game and needs to pick off TCU to save his job.
Yeah.
Anything else from this one?
I think we're good. I guess we'll move on to the Big West. Whoa. What is it? It zoomed in. I think I'm gonna go Hawaii in this one.
Yeah, get ready to learn low-scoring games in this one. Hawaii, Irvine, San Diego, all are top 60 defenses in the country, and they play at very slow paces, and they cannot score. So Santa Barbara's the only team in the Big West that can really score any points, but they finished 6th in the conference. So, yeah.
I do think UC Santa Barbara is going to win a couple games, and it'll be them against Hawaii in that bottom region.
I'm going to take
wait till
Irvine.
that second round game. If we get Cal Poly and Northridge, those are the top 2 teams in the country in adjusted tempo.
Yeah.
We're going to get like a 200-point total if we get that Cal Poly Northridge match up there in the second round.
Throwback to Loyola Marymount teams.
Yeah, those are literally, you can go on KenPom right now. Those are the top 2 teams in the country in adjusted tempo.
Fun stuff.
Huh.
Yeah, I'll take Irvine.
Okay, I'll go Hawaii, and then you
I'll go Irvine as well.
Okay. Guess we'll move on
Wow,
to CUSA.
no Big Sky brackets? Unbelievable.
Oh, no.
It's already started. The Big
Yeah, it
Sky
already started, and the only 2 teams that can probably win it, Portland State and then Montana State, just lost. So, yeah, not missing much there.
Is Montana
I think I only did brackets of tournaments
Montana,
that
I
haven't
think,
started.
lost.
Mm-hmm. So
I think I only did brackets from tournaments that haven't started.
Mm-hmm.
Big Sky's kind of bad this year, so didn't really miss anything. But
I think this is pretty much Liberty's conference to lose.
It should be.
Yeah.
I think this is the hardest one to predict of like all the mid-major ones. It should be Liberty's to lose for sure. Zach Cleveland's back from last year. He's the best player in the conference, kind of hands down. But all these teams like are very small. They rebound horribly, especially Liberty rebounds like all-time levels of bad. So if they make the NCAA tournament and they play a big team, they are cooked. I like, and I still wouldn't be shocked if Liberty was knocked out by like Western Kentucky or Kennesaw State. I mean, FIU and Jacksonville State are the only teams in the CUSA with like any size to speak of. FIU took Liberty to overtime twice, so those are both like really close games. They scored a ton of points on them. They got them to overtime. But yeah, FIU and Jacksonville State are going to be like really dangerous draws for Liberty if they see either of them. But it's hard to bet against. Like, it's hard to bet against Liberty here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Liberty over Western Kentucky in the championship. Is what I think the championship will be.
The thing going into this tournament is like there are some real like slumping teams going into this tournament. Like, Kennesaw State's been on a slump. Western Kentucky's been on a slump.
Half the teams, it feels like, have been like, again, FIU.
I mean, Sam Houston's lost 2 in a row. Like,
yeah. FIU in that first game, that is going to be like a really, really tough. Like, Liberty better hope that FIU loses because they could go out to them. That would not surprise me because of their first 2 games against them.
What you thinking, Matt? Who's your pick there?
I'll take Liberty regardless. I'm not going to be the one who just picks against the best team in the conference. Yeah, I'll take Liberty.
Okay.
I'm gonna go a little outside the box. I'm gonna go with the team that just won by 50 yesterday. Give me Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech just beat Delaware 81-38 yesterday. They beat Liberty last week when they played Liberty. Yeah, give me Louisiana Tech here. I'll get a little creative. I'll go Louisiana Tech over Sam Houston.
That's a solid pick. Especially if a team's hot like that.
Yeah, they beat Delaware 81-38 yesterday.
Delaware obviously did not make it to the tournament for obvious reasons. But
Yes. This is a tournament I was denied credentials for. Or no. I was denied by American, not CUSA. My bad.
Kind of just depends on what city. That's in Huntsville, Alabama. So you
I was denied by American. I got my Alabama tournaments mixed up.
Next up, the Ivy League.
Here we go.
Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. That's how you do a conference tournament. We don't need any Campbells knocking off UNC Wilmington or, like Belmont getting bounced by Drake. This is how it's done.
Did you guys see Seth Davis earlier? He tweeted, like, just a reminder, like, you don't have to give your auto bid to the conference tournament winner. Like
Yeah,
he was like,
they're like, actually, that's yeah,
if there
that's
was
incredible.
what conference would have the balls to do that? Just to be like, no, we're actually giving our auto bid to this team.
I could see it.
Uh,
I could see it if like the two worst teams in your conference got to the championship.
but still, then like, would they have to like let them know, like, yeah, this game didn't mean anything. We're just gonna
I
take
mean,
them away from the conference tournament.
The Ivy League would have to be pissed here if this isn't Yale, right?
Yeah,
Yes, I would say that they would. Yeah, the Ivy's been good this year, but this is definitely Yale's league this
Yale
year.
is the number one mid major or in the country at Kempom, I believe, right now. They are like
Yale's good.
58th at Kempom.
I think we're gonna get the game in the championship here. Yale
Very
versus
good.
Harvard.
Yes, that is in fact the game. Um, and yeah, Yale is the best major in the country, arguably, and they're definitely the best team in the Ivy League. The Ivy basically, that's why this tournament is smart. It's one good team and three decent teams, maybe. But yeah, Yale's good. I mean, Nick Townsend, he's going to win Ivy League Player of the Year. He started 4 years for Yale. He played in the Auburn game that they won. He played last year against A&M and scored 15 against them. So, yeah. Besides the Princeton game where they went and got beat by Princeton pretty badly, they've handled everybody else in the league. Got to give a shout out to Penn here. Penn is
Shout out to Fran.
yeah. I mean, how can you not shout out Fran? They've been the
Fran
I
hottest
haven't
team in
seen
the
any
Ivy League
Fran.
all season.
I haven't seen any viral Fran moments this year.
I think I saw one. I think I saw him like where he like was yelling at the ref, of course.
There haven't been a crazy amount, but yeah, they've been hot. Penn's been hot. They only lost to Yale by 4, and then other than that, they've been running like roughshod over the rest of the league. So yeah, they got Harvard. They split the season series with Harvard. Those games were decided by a combined 4 points. And yeah, they're going to ride their big man, TJ Power, if they're going to have any chance of winning. But yeah, so this should be Yale. And yes, the Ivy League should be rooting for Yale pretty hard because they probably should be like a 12 maybe, and they could definitely knock somebody off.
I'm gonna go Yale over Penn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go different. Harvard over Yale. Just to switch it up. Because they did, just looking at it now, they went to overtime their last game they played. But
yeah.
I guess we'll move on to the MAC. This is going to be a crazy one as well. I think this might be one of the best ones of the week as well.
This is just a collision course for Miami and Akron.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Miami versus Akron.
And then we have the potential for a serious ref show because once the MAC realizes they could be a 2-bid league, watch out if you're Miami.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say I think Akron's going to beat Miami in the championship.
Miami, despite being undefeated, they have just been begging to get beat.
They have, and Akron might be better than them, and that's going to be in Cleveland. That's going to be tough. So I'll take Akron.
Because Miami's shooting hasn't been the greatest, at least from the 3-point line. I was watching that Ohio game. They were just kind of bricking a lot of their shots. Whenever they couldn't get a drive to the rim and were just taking wide open threes with Peter Suter, it's like they were just kind of not hitting the shots they should be. But they're magical.
I'm going to agree with you guys. I'm going to go with Akron over Miami here. So does Miami get the at-large? if they go down to
I'll get
Akron
it.
in the
So
championship.
with how bad the bubble is,
Yeah, they'll get
Yeah.
it. And the national outrage is not one that they'll want to deal with if they don't put them in.
like I feel like if you've gone 31-0, regardless of schedule, you're going to get an at-large.
Yeah.
Now seeding, that's an entirely different story, but yeah.
Yeah, they'll put them in.
If Miami runs the table and wins this tournament, what seed line do they land on?
I would say 6 or a 7.
I would say 9, 8 or 9.
7. I would say 7.
I was thinking more like a 10.
I think
mean,
they're gonna. It's gonna
Just
be like
because of the year it is. And like they're not as good as some of these mid majors who have like gotten pretty high seeds.
I mean, you remember UC San Diego last year. They did them no favors with their seeding, despite how good
They
they
weren't
were.
undefeated though. And
Yeah, they have one loss, I believe.
like Wofford, that team that
I
had
think they're
Fletcher
gonna-
McGee was much better than this Miami team, and they gave them what, a 7 or
7.
yeah.
I think Miami gets the same seed as Wofford did. To be honest,
I mean, if there's any
Something
precedent to this, like George Washington, the 2006 NCAA tournament was undefeated, and they gave him a 9. I think they gave him an 8 or 9, but that was also like years ago, and yeah, I don't know. It's I would probably err on like probably somewhere between like 9 to. I wouldn't be shocked if they got an 11 either. Like I don't know.
I'm going to say Akron wins this tournament, though, and I think Miami gets in, but I think they go to Dayton.
I think you'd have to, because if we're already talking about them winning out and possibly being a 9, like where are they going to go? Like if they lose, probably Dayton's the only option.
but yeah,
Anything else, fellas?
I think both covered that pretty good. The MEAC.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Come on.
I'm gonna go ahead and go with Howard.
Howard's the 1
Yeah.
seed. Sure.
Go Howard.
Yeah.
Howard.
They're the best program of all those there. Them or Norfolk State.
Yeah.
But
Good
you
Lord.
going Howard too, Travis?
Yeah, sure. Really good. Have fun in Dayton.
Yeah, have fun in Dayton. The
It's going to be
Mountain
a good
West.
one.
Yeah, that is. This is Utah State's tournament, I feel like. I think those top 4 teams are capable enough of beating them, but yeah, I'm taking Utah State.
I'm gonna go be different. I'm gonna pick Grand Canyon to win it all. Bryce Drew and the Antelopes.
That'd be a big time accomplishment. Yeah.
I'm going to take New Mexico here. They played Utah State really tough on the road yesterday. I like Utah State's draw to get, or New Mexico's draw to get there. Because, don't think whoever comes out of that Boise San Jose State game, Boise, is that good. I think it's a good draw for them. San Diego State will be tough, but I think they can get that. And they played Utah State, gave them everything they could handle on the road there yesterday. So I'll say New Mexico picks them off. And this is another situation where, if Utah State wins this tournament, the Mountain West is probably a 1-bid league. New Mexico's right there on the bubble, but you think if we get any bid stealers, they're probably one of the first victims. So I think New Mexico is kind of in a situation where they got to go and win this tournament, and the Mountain West is going to want to at least try to get a second team. And Yeah, I'm gonna say New Mexico picks off Utah State here.
To add, I'm going to go Grand Canyon over New Mexico in the championship.
I'll go Utah State over San Diego State.
All right, we got 3 different picks in that one.
Yeah. I think that's going to be another great tournament. But
Mountain West is always one of the best.
One of the most solid. Next up, SEC.
Here we go. Oh, let's see.
I'm going to go.
This is Florida's to lose.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Florida over Texas A&M in the final.
I'll take Florida over Arkansas. I love Arkansas. Love Cal. Love ACUF. I do not think that, I don't know how many they played 100 times. Florida might win 95 of those games. It's just not a good matchup for Arkansas.
I was going to put Arkansas in there, but I just do not trust. They're such a high variance team. They can either play great or.
Florida over Bama for me, as much as it pains me to say it.
But yeah, it's pretty much Florida and the rest.
Bubble. Well, a lot of bubble implications here in this tournament, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Georgia,
Auburn,
Texas, Missouri.
I mean, Auburn. I think Auburn needs to get to the semifinals to even have a for there to even be a discussion to be had on Selection Sunday about Auburn. I think they gotta win that first game. They gotta beat Tennessee and beat Vanderbilt, and I think that's the only way there's even like I said, a conversation to be had there.
Yeah, agreed.
Missouri. If Missouri drops that first game, are they safe? With how bad this bubble is, it's just it's hard to gauge some of these. I kind of tend to think Missouri's safe regardless here.
Yeah.
But I mean, they beat Kentucky there, they'll be in. Texas A&M, I think if Texas A&M loses that first game there to Oklahoma or South Carolina, I think you might have a conversation. I think Oklahoma's another one for whatever reason. I mean, Lenardi's saying they're still under considerations. I mean, if Oklahoma can rattle off those, obviously beat South Carolina, beat A&M, beat Arkansas, maybe Oklahoma plays their way onto the bubble. Texas. Oh, we get the Chris Beard game there in the first round there. I think as long as Texas wins that first game over Ole Miss, they're safe.
I think Texas and Georgia winner gets in the tournament, and the loser, I think, may be out.
Tennessee's a team in this tournament. Really that Tennessee Vanderbilt game, if assuming that ends up being the matchup, both of those teams, they're both kind of teams. I'm just kind of what are you at this point?
Just too inconsistent. Both of them are just kind of can either be great or they can put out a stinker.
By the way, we're talking about Missouri making the tournament and good. What a wild ride in 4 years for Dennis Gates that it's going to be 3 NCAA tournament appearances and then a fucking 0-18 SEC season mixed in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just talk about variance.
Yeah, this is Florida's to lose, though. Like I said, I'm going to go Florida over Bama.
Florida's just playing impressive. Their guard concerns have kind of gone away. Their big
Yeah,
men have just been so great too.
Xavier Lee and Fland have both looked much improved. Like, I mean, Boogie Fland's been great. Like, he might finally be turning the corner.
Yeah, he's played much better.
So yeah, Matt, you said you're Florida, Arkansas. I'm Florida over Bama, and Jacob, what was yours?
Florida over A&M.
Okay, be quite the run for Bucky, but
I think Bucky ball is built for conference tournaments like this.
yeah, they just have not been playing well.
Yeah. I just don't trust Arkansas or Alabama. They're too high variance down there. But
Anything
yeah,
else on this one?
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Next, we get one of these that we should spend 5 seconds on.
Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, same.
Give me Bethune-Cookman over Southern.
Yeah.
Bethune-Cookman almost beat Auburn on opening night. They're
Yeah, they
a
have a
good team in my eyes.
They have a former NBA coach as their head coach, so I think that will be big in a conference tournament like this.
Hey, shout out to Valley.
Yeah, they've won a couple games.
You excited for this one?
Can't say that I am.
You excited for that one, Matt?
No.
Jupe's probably excited.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
And
Jackson
of course, I think we had this before with Juve being in Egypt. We had that discussion. Juve is in Ireland currently, so he is quite busy. Yeah.
He was. I thought he might be coming to the Sun Belt tournament again. Though instead,
Yeah.
he's in Ireland.
Yeah.
Ireland in March Madness. What a combo.
Yeah.
Last one tonight, we have the WAC tournament.
Yeah, that's Utah Valley or Cal Baptist.
Mhm.
Those teams are just significantly better than the rest of them.
Utah Valley, man. What a wild year it's been for Utah Valley.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think Utah Valley is going to win over Cal Baptist with their long-range shooters.
Oh my god. Oh, holy shit. Do you concur, Matt?
What's the next one?
This is the last one. This is literally the last one.
What a way.
Also,
what a way to end the conference tournament preview.
Utah Valley's going to win it. They're going to win it just to stick it to the WAC too, because they've been in a legal battle where they were initially ineligible for this tournament as well. So,
really?
Yeah, it's been kind of a dramatic thing going on. But
give me a Utah Valley, Utah Tech championship.
Utah squared.
Yeah.
But that's all the ones you sent me, and I think that's all that's left.
Yeah. Other than that, you got Southland, Stephen F. Austin, McNeese. Those two coaches are in their first year. Matt Bauer and Bill Armstrong. So, yeah, some good players on both sides of that. McNeese is a Ken Palm tournament team, and I think Stephen F. Austin is as well. So, yeah, that'll be a fun championship game.
assuming neither of them get upset, Stephen F. Austin versus
Yeah,
Nice. That
I
might be
know.
one
Yeah,
of the should be one of the best of the week. But
yeah, that'll be good.
Oh, we didn't put the West Coast up there.
it started already.
Ah,
I
But,
do know Oregon State beat San Francisco tonight.
Hmm.
so we just assume that one's going to be Gonzaga St. Mary's.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
safe to assume that.
Yeah.
Is there a game still going on?
There was Pacific and Santa Clara was the last one, I think. I don't know if that's still going on.
Okay,
or
yeah,
not.
Santa Clara won because I was looking and it said St. Mary's opponents TBD tomorrow.
Yeah.
We didn't like another one that started, so we didn't put up. But the Horizon League's been wild this year. Like,
Yeah.
who do you guys
That
like
should
coming
be
down to
Wright
it there?
State, Robert Morris. I got Robert Morris over Wright State.
Let's see.
Wright State is actually a dog against Northern Kentucky tomorrow.
Yes.
I think Wright State's going to do it. I just think their starting five is too good. In Northern Kentucky, I saw them play earlier in the year. They aren't that good. They're kind of just meh.
The Norse.
Yeah.
Any other tournaments we didn't put up there that we want to hit on, or
I think we're good.
Yeah.
it is 2:15 a.m.
Yes.
Eastern.
Yeah.
Me and Travis look like we've been through a gauntlet.
You more than me, brother. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm intact. Jacob, so you went to SoCon and Big South, right?
I went to the Big South quarterfinals on Friday. And I was at all the games yesterday for SoCon, and then the two semifinals tonight.
Very nice.
All of them were close games. That's the crazy part. Like there's 0 blowouts in any of them.
Oh, we got an emergency system.
That's how you know it's late.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's is that my cue to go to bed?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
Okay.
Well,
Have another big day tomorrow.
Sun Belt Championship. I'll be there. Jacob will be at the SoCon Championship. You going to any games this week, Matt?
I have no plans to go to any this week. So, yeah, NCAA tournament games will be in Philadelphia, and the regionals be in DC. So I plan on hitting those.
Very nice. Hell yeah. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in here at 2:16 Eastern, 1:15 or 1:16 Central. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll be back later this week to discuss some conference tournament happenings. And yeah, until then, we will see you later.